Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this year's virtual awards presentation. We are in our 10th year of this exhibition, and honestly, I cannot believe it. It has been going for so long, and all of the artwork has always been exceptional. So thank you so much to the schools for continuing to bring your game. So we thoroughly appreciated the library. There were always compliments and always asking when the next one's coming around. So we are in it for next year as well, and hopefully we can get to 20 years at some point. But I did want to give a shout out to the faculty again for their hard work and bringing all the student work together. And also, the show in and of itself would not be possible without the support of the library and how they provide all the funds for not only setting up the exhibition, but also the awards and everything else that comes along with it. And of course, the Board of Trustees are always very supportive of this as well, so thank you to them. I did want to give another thank you to our juror this year, Ryan Roth. I will talk a little bit more about him in a second, but thank you so much to everyone involved. I do want to give a couple updates about what's happening at the headquarters library. We are back to normal schedule, so if you find yourself in Spartanburg, please stop by and see this exhibition in person. And while you're there, we do have some other exhibitions going on as well. This one is The Strength of a Wildflower by Morgan McCarver. It is a porcelain exhibition. It is upstairs in the Crutchfield Gallery. Her work is inspired by early Victorian American women. Like the female mentors in her life, native wildflowers have always been near to her. She just has to seek them out. Women have historically been compared to delicate flowers. She reinterprets that symbolism by allowing the porcelain wildflower imagery to represent a woman's inner strength. She applies her drawings as transfers similar to a seamstress overlaying patterns and designs on a dress form. The individual within the identical is found through surface design. We did invest in some snazzy new pedestals. If you would like to come by and see them, this is our first porcelain show, so hopefully we will have more in the future. If you have a body of work, or if you have anyone who is interested in having work in this gallery space, please send me an email and let me know your interest along with images and a statement. We also have an exhibition in the atrium when you first walk into the library. It's called Bonjour et Merci. It is a travel sketching and watercolor in France display of all the sketchbooks that were created during that time. The Converse University students went to a 2-week travel study course titled Sketching and Watercolor in France. The students were required to carry a sketchbook and maintain a visual journey of the things that interested them. Before they left, they examined the travel sketches of artists like John Singer Sargent and Eugene Delacroix, who traveled around the world sketching and painting. They looked closely at how they arranged their sketchbooks, the things that inspired them, and how these were translated into larger works when they returned home. So make sure you stop by and see that. All of the sketchbooks that they created are on display in glass cases in the atrium. Ryan Roth, again, was our juror for this year's exhibition. And for many years now, Roth's artwork has primarily focused on the ethical and psychological challenges of the idea of the corporate man and his relentless pursuit of business success, or lack thereof. Typically, Roth explores the concept that while working within the environment of corporate America, people can sometimes blur the lines between what is ethical and what is not. Roth's work typically focuses on the human figure, specifically the male figure, and the social anxieties and expectations that men place on themselves and others. By creating and exhibiting these works, Roth challenges the social norms and practices by bringing them to the forefront of our attention. Currently, Ryan Roth is teaching at the Fine Arts Center in Greenville, South Carolina, Before joining the faculty of the Fine Arts Center in 2012, Roth taught at the Ohio State University, Denson University, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and the University of Georgia. Roth earned his BFA from Valdosta State University and his MFA in drawing and painting at the University of Georgia. Roth has participated in various exhibitions across the United States. He also participated in the international exhibits in Europe and China. So thank you very much, Ryan, for being our juror this year. So our first awards are going to be honorable mentions, but before I start to give out the awards, I did want to read a bit from the juror statement that Ryan made. It is a great honor to join the roster of distinguished artists and scholars who have juried the 10th annual Collegiate Invitational. It has been a privilege to view and assess the astonishing array of submissions in all varieties of media. Judging is no easy task. Choosing the award winners was extremely challenging, but ultimately I went with the pieces which strongly resonated with me, or I felt expressed the artist's voice the best. I took the responsibility of jurying this show very seriously, and I went through all the works many times. I was pleasantly surprised by the overall high quality of the work submitted and particularly impressed by the strong sense of purpose and dedication. What was even more encouraging was the high sense of design with a mixture of intuitive and informed decisions. I found myself inspired and excited about the future of the arts and also for the life of these students are embarking upon. Studying and making art is a life of ups and downs, but there is no other feeling like finishing a piece you, the artist, is proud of. It is filled with curiosity, dedication, and continually learning about ourselves and the world around us. The selected award winners' artworks represent a tiny sliver of the immense artistic talent that is found in the show. All the artists who put forth their work for consideration are to be commended for their steadfast pursuit of their art. I am in awe of the creativity of these artists and recognize the many hours of work they contributed to the process. So, with that in mind, the first honorable mention goes to a drawing that has a lovely tonal range. For Ryan Roth, the piece talked about the places between reality and memory. The space and objects in the drawing exist separately, giving it a feeling of unsettledness. This piece is L.B. Bruce's Remember from USC Upstate. The next honorable mention goes to Leah Davis for Winter Oasis from Anderson University. Ryan wrote, "This photo draws the viewer into it. Looking at it, one cannot help but feel the cold air or the snow under their feet. The artist was able to capture the stillness and the silence of a winter's day." Our third honorable mention goes to Mary Owens Davidson for Silk Scarf from Converse University. Ryan noted, "This beautifully painted portrait followed me around the gallery. The woman is dressed up and is confronting the viewer with a smile with something behind it." Our final honorable mention goes to Mary Hope for Indoor Picnic. Ryan wrote, "Setting the mood with lighting and an unclean spill, this photo begged me to want to know what happened and when did it happen. The crooked rug implies a rushed, unplanned exit, creating an outstanding sense of tension within the piece." Our next awards are the Merit Awards. Our first Merit Award goes to... This merit award goes to Anastasia Muzzarelli for Backs from Lander University. The juror wrote, "This simple competition of two figures' backs hugging one another is all about connection. The lack of clothes, warm tones, and close embrace added to the openness and comfortness between the two models." The next Merit Award goes to Maggie Genoble for Playhouses from Wofford College. This playful digital print broke a lot of rules in the best way. First, it breaks from the traditional mold of a rectangle composition. Secondly, Genoble flattens the depiction of space. Third, she balances the positive and negative space along with digital and photographic elements to create a playful juxtaposition within the work. The final merit award goes to Tanya Johnson for Lemon Drop from Greenville Technical College. This photo takes everyday objects and rearranges them to create an ambiance which made me question what each of the items symbolize. Like the old Benita still life paintings, it represents the transistence of life and the futility of materialism. The next award given was chosen by one of our staff members who works in the marketing department at the headquarters library. This one was Joanna Lawther's Still Waters from Anderson University. This next award was chosen by our county librarian, Todd Stevens. He chose Maggie Genoble's Playhouses from Wofford College. This next award is our Purchase Award, and this one was also chosen by our county librarian. This one will be going into the Spartanburg County Public Library's permanent art collection, and this goes to Maggie Genoble, Playhouses from Wofford College. This next award was sponsored by our Friends of the Library, and this one goes to Sarah Gassman for Dog Snot from Clemson University. Ryan wrote, Dog Snot by Sarah Gassman takes a mundane view of the world and draws the viewer's attention to it. With this piece, I kept asking myself, who is the artist? Is it the painter who captures the dog snot marks on the window, or is it the dog who drew the marks as it looked out the window? Either way, the painting forces the viewer to look out the messy window as the dog does, but also shows us the beauty of the marks that can be found in most unique places. The next award is our Faculty Award. This one goes to Andrew Blanchard for Gig from Converse University. Ryan wrote, Gig by Andrew Blanchard made me think of The Goldfish by Henry Matisse, with the table pushing forward with the items not falling off. The mixtures of loose marks next to the photo-printed objects are put together in the best way. This piece called to me from across the gallery. It is well done and a beautiful piece. Our next award is our third place award. The juror wrote that he chose this for third place because the craft was outstanding. He thought there were playful choices and the repetition of shapes being used as resting points for the rest of the sculpture. The repeating of the pattern produced was made relevant by the smooth and strong shapes of the two ceramic bases. This is Olivia Hubble's Abigail from Clemson University. Our second place award goes to Kendall Hill for Untitled from Wofford College. Ryan wrote, Kendall Hill's video juxtaposes two scenes or ways of applying makeup in a way which, for me, took this simple act and transformed it to something scary, worrisome, or painful. The power of the straight-on view, dark clothing, background, and deadpan facial features add to this feeling. The addition of another person's hands, overdone makeup, and some odd ways of applying items to the face only add the mystery and make the viewer think of their own daily routines. Our final award is our first place award. The juror wrote that he chose this one for a myriad of reasons. The pose of the figure, the lighting, the color, and the mood draws you into the piece. The woman seems to gaze directly at us, pulling us into her present moment, which made me think even more about the title of the piece. How arbitrary could this be? Finally, it should be noted how amazing the skill and creative choices the artist took in this piece, such as the shadow of the blinds making an X over the woman's face. This goes to Intum Knickerbocker for Arbitrary Self-Portrait from Commerce University. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me for this. Congratulations to all the award winners, and I hope to see you at the library soon.